Okay, good morning once again. I'm going to continue with my consolidation of soil chapter, and today I'm going to discuss about the relationship between various terms and also the definitions. Okay, so first we're going to deal with the relation between the void ratio E and the stress sigma. Okay, so usually what happens is when the consolidation of the soil takes place, the consolidation of soil usually takes place whenever there is certain increase in pressure under the condition of loading and the water from the voids are expelled out, right? So what is the relation between the stress and the void ratio? So with the increase of stress, there will be usually the decrease in the void ratio. And since all the water is being expelled out, the volume of the voids will reduce. So if we relate those two terms and plot it on a curve like that, okay, with the increase in stress along the abscissa and the void ratio along the ordinate, then we get a curve like that. Okay, so Terzaghi actually denoted that relation in two types of curve. In one of the curve, he took the abscissa or the effective stress in terms of log scale, and in other case, he simply take it in the simple scale without the log. Okay, and when he took the log scale, effective stress on a log scale, and then E as the abscissa, then he saw that the graph obtained will be a decreasing straight line curve, right? So according to him, the first definition he defined was the compression index C. So this is nothing but the slope of that curve that he has drawn, taking the effective stress as on a log scale, right? So what is the CC? It is a slope. So how do you find the slope of any curve? If it's a straight line, that will be simply the, if you form a triangle, that will be the tan theta of that line. Okay, so tan theta will be the perpendicular height upon the horizontal base B. So that will give you the slope M, right? So here how do you find that vertical height? That is the initial stress E naught when the initial pressure applied was sigma naught, and then when the stress has increased to sigma, final stress of sigma dash, here effective stress increased here, then the void ratio has decreased down to E value. Okay, so this height will be the simply the difference of E naught minus E, initial void ratio and then final void ratio which has been decreased, right? And then the difference of the pressure will be how much? The initial pressure here is sigma naught dash and the final pressure is sigma dash. So difference of these two on a log scale. So log of sigma naught dash, that is the initial stress, and the final stress sigma dash, right? So since we saw here that the final stress will be more than the initial stress, so here if we deduct that, we get a negative value because that value is higher. Okay, so we take that negative outside because we cannot deduct the smaller value from greater value, right? So we'll put that final value of stress in the front and that as initial stress at the end. Okay, and we put a negative sign here. So the finally what we can write is the compressive index will be simply the ratio of the change in the void ratio with the increase in pressure on a log scale. Okay, so with the negative sign, that simply indicates that the curve we obtained will be a decreasing curve, decreasing slope, right? And then again he's expressed the same relation on a simple scale without taking the log here as abscissa. So that term he defined as the coefficient of compressibility AV. Okay, so AV is simply defined as the slope of the curve when void ratio is plotted against the increase of effective stress on a plane scale, and then the ratio of the increase in stress, increase in the void ratio, change in void ratio due to the unit increase in pressure. The simple ratio will give us the this term coefficient of compressibility denoted by AV, right? So AV will be simply the change in void ratio or decrease in void ratio due to increase in unit effective pressure or stress. Okay, again we denote a negative sign in the front just to indicate that again with the increase of pressure the void ratio is decreasing, right? And the unit, if we talk about the unit, the void ratio is a ratio of VV upon VS, so it doesn't have any unit, and the unit of stress is kilonewton per meter square, and when you turn it on the upper numerator part, then this becomes meter square per kilonewton. So that is the unit of coefficient of compressibility, AV, meter square per kilonewton, right? The next term we are going to define is the coefficient of volume compressibility. It is denoted by MV. So the definition he has given, Mr. Terzaghi, is that the volume compressibility coefficient can be defined as the change in the void ratio per unit initial volume due to given increase in pressure. Alright, so according to definition we can write the relation like this. Okay, mathematically MV, which is the notation for the coefficient of volume compressibility, is the change in void ratio delta E upon that part actually indicates the initial volume. I'll explain how, and that is the unit increase in pressure. Okay, so this is the ratio of increase in or change in the void ratio per unit initial volume due to given unit increase in pressure, right? So volume compressibility actually can also be defined another way in terms of the volume and the height, like that. So MV is also equal to the ratio of change in volume per unit original volume, again because of unit increase in pressure. So whatever change is happening in the original volume of that solid mass, that is actually volumetric strain, right? That upon the stress, that is the increase in pressure. And volume we can express in terms of area, like if we consider a solid mass having a total volume of V, and if we consider the cross-sectional area on that side as A, then the volume will be, if total original height is h0, then the total volume of solid mass will be the height into the cross-sectional area here. So we can express that volume as height into area, and change in volume as whatever decrease in height is happening because of the stress, the height will reduce. So that change in height into the cross-sectional area. So if we can cancel this area, then we can express MV also in terms of height as change in height per unit original height due to unit increase in pressure, right? So now if I consider this as the initial volume, and we know that the volume is actually a summation of volume of solid, which is the volume occupied by the solid part of the soil, and the void, which is either filled up with water or air. And since we consider this to be a fully saturated solid, we consider that all the voids are filled up with water. So that will be the total volume of voids, all filled up with water. So total V is equal to V0 plus VS. Sound will come here. VS plus VV. VS plus VV. Okay, so total volume will be VV plus VS. So if you take the Vs common, then it becomes 1 plus Vv upon Vs, and we know that is your void ratio E. Okay, since we are considering the initial volume, that will be the initial void ratio, right? So now if I consider the final volume after the consolidation of soil has taken place. So final volume will be Vf. So change in volume will be initial volume minus the final volume. So initial volume is Vs and into 1 plus E0, and final volume will be Vs because the volume of soil solid will not change. If the change in volume happens, it will be only because of the change in the volume of voids. So that Vs remains constant, and 1 plus, that is the final void ratio. So if I open up the bracket, then this one you can cancel out. So finally the Vs will be, change in volume will be the volume of soil solids and difference of two void ratio. Okay, so that is the change in void ratio into the volume of soil solids, right? So that is your change in V. So if I apply that change in the volume delta V by that Vs into Ve, and the initial volume V0 by that relation Vs 1 plus E0, then we can cancel out Vs here. Okay, we are putting the value of Vs this and V0 as that in that equation of volume, and then we can express this as change in void ratio per unit initial volume due to unit increase in pressure. That is what we actually defined it in the first place, right? So that is how we can find the coefficient of volume compressibility using this equation, or in terms of volume that, or in terms of height using that equation too. And the unit for the MV will be, again, this is the change in volume upon stress. So change in volume will be meter cube upon meter cube, so that we can cancel out here, and again it will be upon only the unit of stress, which is kilonewton per meter square. So this meter square, if we take it on numerator side, it will be meter square per kilonewton. So the unit of the volume compressibility and coefficient of the compressibility both will be meter square per kilonewton for AB also and for MV also. Is it clear up to here?